I'm procrastinating so badly, and it has been causing a lot of um, energy, like mental energy, that's stopping me to doing the actual work.
Mm. I can relate to that one a lot. And I think for
Mm.
me, what was most effective for me personally is just keeping it really, really simple when it comes to doing the work. So, are you talking just like in relation to meditation, or what is it specifically that you're procrastinating, if anything, at all?
When I was preparing the interview, and then this morning, I actually should just do more preparation, but I kind of like don't want to do it. I was I was like procrastinating, and then I get nervous, and then I didn't do the work. At the end, I have less time to prepare, and it get me more nervous. And
Mm.
then, yeah, I kind of find myself maybe I don't want to prepare, so that even I fail, I wouldn't feel that bad.
Yeah, well, for me personally,
Yeah.
I don't generally like to do too much preparation, if any at all. I really like to just let it flow naturally from my intuition in the moment, just sort of take my
Mm.
guidance from the moment itself rather than trying to plan ahead and control the future. It generally makes things too complicated. So, what I like to do is, I think meditation is a fantastic tool which can help um, uh, complement for you on this journey because meditation, one of the things that it can help us to do is to keep things very simple. And I think that's the big thing. You know, we overcomplicate things so much in our minds that we end up just getting in our own way because the
Yeah.
problem or the situation becomes much more complicated than it actually is. So for me, I like to just keep it very, very simple. And in doing so, I'm able to create some sort of foundation for myself. When I first started, teaching
Yeah.
meditation, what I was focusing on, what I was talking about was just my experience and just keeping it very simple, just relatable kind of concepts. And then as my experience has grown in meditation over the last couple of years, I've become a little bit more of an experienced meditator. More pieces of the jigsaw puzzle start to fall into place, and you start to gain that mastery. You start to gain that experience. You start to gain that confidence within yourself and that
Mm.
trust within yourself to be able to follow your own intuitive guidance and then to just trust the flow. But I think to start with, when we're starting with anything new, I think the way in which we can be most compassionate to ourselves is just by reinforcing that idea of keeping it simple at every turn and trusting the process. I think we expect too much too soon, which can be a big problem. We're expecting things to be perfect and we're expecting this and we're expecting that, but we've only just started doing what it is that we're doing. So I think having that beginner's mentality and that willingness to explore and investigate and just try things. And I think that's what can really be helpful. Being willing to be creative and to make mistakes and to fail. I think having these unrealistic and unreasonable standards of ourselves mean that we will never try. And the thing is that the master has failed more times than the beginner is even willing to try. So if it's really that important to you, I think it's important to just embrace the light and the dark side of the process. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, and it's important. These are the steps that need to be taken so that we can grow, so that we can evolve. It's all part of the learning curve, I find. So for me, I love failing. I love making mistakes because it helps me identify opportunities to improve. It gives me an opportunity to reflect. Oh, you know what? That didn't quite feel so right. I tried my best in the moment, and I think we should be very proud of just trying our best and knowing that our best is good enough, and that in doing our best, we're actually on the right path.
Yeah, I think I do have a issue with what is the extent of trying out my best. Like I kind of, yeah, this doesn't have a like definition, and then I do think sometimes I push myself too hard, that like it's overwhelming to myself.
Mm.
How can you find the balance between like not pushing too hard and doing your best?
Now, this is where meditation can really shine. So, in our tradition, we practice the middle way. And the middle way, it's not necessarily a conclusion that you will immediately arrive at, but it's a process of finding your center, finding a sustainable approach to not just meditation, but life in general. It can really be something that can help us to come into balance and harmony in our lives on every level. Just practicing meditation because we start to become more in tune with ourselves, knowing our limitations, learning about what our parameters actually are, and then understanding how to work within our own limitations and to not overextend, causing burnout. If you overextend for just one day, then you spend 3 days recovering. So it's a very
Yeah,
imbalanced
that's
kind of
so
equation.
true.
Yeah. So meditation can show you,
Yeah,
it gives you the wisdom from those experiences and help you to see that, oh, if I'm pushing that hard, then, it takes me like 3 days to recover. So maybe I need to find something, some way in which I can take a bit more of a rest or not do too much and take it step by step and not get too far ahead of ourselves. But yeah, just learning how to restrain yourself, I suppose. And that just comes with experience, I find. So for me, in teaching meditation, I realized that, well, we have the structured retreat here at the retreat center. And for me, when I first started teaching in the structured retreat, my teaching day is generally 6 to 7 hours long of teaching. And I just gave it all of my energy. And then I would be burned out for the next week or so. So that process has helped me to find a little bit more of a moderate approach and recognize that I can't just go and give it absolutely everything, because then I've got nothing left, and that's not sustainable. So bit by bit, you slowly start to, like, side to side, and then you come back into balance like this until you find your center. Kind of like that. Yeah.